Okay, we are recording. All right, you guys, tonight we have my dear friend, Presidential Diamond, Jennifer Bachmann on.
Hi,
And
guys.
I'm so excited to have you on. So thank you for taking time. I know it's late for you, but I love your story and how fast you promoted to Presidential Diamond in 19 months. So if you can just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your story, and then I'll go ahead and ask you some questions that my team has for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, my story is a lot like a lot of probably like a lot of stories that you guys have heard before. Maybe your story. I was working full time as a supply chain engineer. I had had that job for about 10 years, but I had recently gone back to work from my maternity leave after having our second little girl. Not because I wanted to go back to work, but I had to. You know, we had a nice house and nice vehicles, and so I had to. But quickly when I went back to work, I realized how expensive daycare for two was.
Mm-hmm.
And I panicked and I thought, oh my gosh, if we don't do something, we're not going to get to go to Disney in the fall like I had hoped for. So I racked my brain and I was trying to think of some ways that I could earn money from home legitimately, because getting a traditional part-time job just wasn't an option for us because I was already away from my girls too much as it was. So I had to find something that I could do at my house on my time. So I remembered watching a friend of mine from college post about this crazy wrap thing on Facebook. Now she's in Florida, I'm in Kentucky, so I never really got to see the products like up close. I didn't really understand what it was about. So for 15 months I watched her. I kind of poked fun at her. I was like, there's no way there's a product out there that can do that. And there's no way you're making that kind of money getting to stay at home with your babies. She was a double diamond at the time. So that was about, $5,000-$6,000 in income. And it just didn't seem real. But she was a close friend of mine who I felt I could call up and get some information. And I called her up one night and, before we hung up the phone, I was already enrolled. My kit was on
I
its
love
way.
it.
I said, okay, for $99, I'm going to give this a shot and we'll give it 90 days and see what it can do for me. And I knew like I'd go to Target and spend
Oh,
$100. So, and not that I had the money either. I didn't. But I put it on the credit card. We were just kind of living in this mentality. Oh, I don't have the money for it. Go charge it. Right. So at the time, that's what I did. I charged it and Tiff had convinced me, oh, you're going to sell the 4 wraps in your kit before your kid even comes in, so
yeah.
don't worry about it. So I did. I signed up with her, and that's how I got started.
I love it. It's really funny because I feel like most people think that the American dream is credit cards, just you don't have the money now, just charge it up. And it's like with It Works, we've learned that you can do so much with the cash. They have so many different ways for us to become debt free and to have income coming in to not have to charge. But I feel like everybody's story is, I put it on a card.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
And it's interesting now when I talk to a lot of people, potentials, they don't even have credit cards.
Wow.
Um, and I'm like, oh, good for you. That's awesome. But yeah, that's how I got started. So after 15 months of being curious and even making fun of it, I decided to see what the fuss was all about. And now here I am.
So you kind of rolled right into the second question I had for you. So that was going to be, how long after you were approached did you sign up? So did you say 15 months?
Yeah, so for 15 months.
Wow.
And not that Tiff even ever came to me and asked me to join her team, because from the outside looking in, it looked like Troy and I had our stuff together. Like we didn't need any extra income. So that's a lesson that I learned myself. Don't ever judge that people that don't need this business, because we don't know their circumstances. We don't know their finances. They
Yeah.
might hide it well like we did, and it kind of goes for the products as well. Like, don't assume someone doesn't want the products just because they might be a size 4, because they might have cellulite on the back of their legs that you don't know about. And guess what? We have a rep for that. So there's
Totally.
a
I
lesson for
love
you.
that. So one of my team members had a question for you, and it is, do you close more loyals or more distributors?
Yeah. So every month I do set a goal for myself to complete my steps. That's 4 loyals, 3 distributors. So I always try and get my 4 loyals, but I do sign more distributors than I do loyal customers. And there's a reason for that. One, because when I talk about the business, I'm so passionate about what it's done for me financially, and I talk about the physical aspect of it too, but what it's done for my family, and not just me, but my mom and dad and my brother and sister. And so therefore I get really excited and I'm passionate, and people want in on that. And that's, that's important when you're talking to people. If you're not excited about the business, if you're not excited about the products, don't expect for others to get excited about it. So, when I do talk to people, I'm excited, and so people are like, well, I'll use the products, but I want to make money too. And that's typically how I sign them.
I love that. So, kind of piggyback on that, how would you consider your best tip for sealing the deal?
Well, it depends on like the form of communication that I'm having with them. For one, if I'm at a party, which I love parties, that's really a big piece of how I promoted so quickly. When I'm at a party and I'm in the wrap room with a potential customer or distributor and I'm unwrapping them, I talk about the wrap experience. And then, I ask if they saw any products tonight they were interested in trying. But then I ask them, okay, so do you want to sign up as a loyal customer tonight? Or do you want to use the products and make some extra money and join our team? And that's how I end it. I leave it like they have 2 options. You're leaving here either as a loyal customer or as a distributor. So that's how I approach it at a party. Now, if I'm on like talking to them online, like through Facebook Messenger or a text, I always leave my conversation with a question. When they ask how much the kit is, I always tell them what is in the kit. And then I mention the $99. And then I always end it with, is that about what you expected? And that's a question that they feel they need to respond to. So then I get a good feeling of where they're at in their decision-making process. But when I'm conversating in a message, I always end it with a question. And, if I feel like I've given them everything I can give them, then I'll say, okay, based on what you've learned from me, and I've shown you a game plan on how you can hit your goals, then what is holding you back from getting started today? And then they'll respond, and that'll tell me either way. Are we going to sign them right now, or do they need to wait till payday, or do we need to wait for something else? So, and actually, if you're in the boot camp group, which you should be, I did actually Kim made a post, I think last week, and there's a video in there that I had made talking about sealing the deal. So if you've missed that, go back and catch that. It's in one of Kim's posts, and it's all about sealing the deal.
Awesome. So one of my girls wanted to ask you this. She says, I am having a hard time getting people to actually lock down and purchase or sign up. What are her tips to get people to sign up with her? And you kind of just answered that. But for people that are having a hard time locking down, like people say they're going to sign up and then they don't sign up. Do you just do the 3x3 or 2x2, or what's your follow-up with people?
Yeah. So based on their response, tells me how I need to follow up. If it's somebody who I think is really sincerely interested in the product, like really interested in the product, or even really interested in joining the team, I think they can come up with the money. One, because our products, most of the time, like they don't break the bank. Like you'll go to Target and you'll drop $100. I do.
Oh, me too.
And I think if you want it bad enough and you need it bad enough and you see the potential that this company can bring, you can scrounge up money, you can sell things. So it's kind of a bit of a matter of priorities. And then if it's literally somebody can't buy something until payday, which I understand that too, then I'll wait and I'll say, okay, when is your payday? Mm-hmm. And they'll say, oh, it's next Thursday or next Friday. Well, guess who I'm following up with next Thursday or Friday? So just be specific and ask a lot of questions, because then that way you're going to uncover the real root of why they're not purchasing it. Is it because of money? Is it because, I don't know, but by asking questions, you'll learn. And then, always follow up. But when you ask questions, then you'll have an idea of when is a better time to follow up.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So the next question was, what does she post, and does she post every day?
Yeah. So I try and post, and this might sound like a lot. I try and post 4 to 6 times a day on Facebook. I love Facebook more than Instagram just because I just personally like it better.
Yeah.
But I try and post 4 to 6 times a day, but they're not all It Works posts. Maybe 2 or 3 of them will be. The other 2 or 3 will be about my life, my girls, my hobbies, Disney. I'm a huge Disney fan, or just funny mom memes or something. But the other ones will be It Works related. And there's a lot of reasons why I do that. One, because Facebook algorithms, we all know not everybody in our Facebook list see all of our posts. So the more that I'm posting, the more viewership that I get. So that means more people are looking at my posts and seeing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I post 4 to 6 times a day. And do I think that's a lot? No, I don't. Because 1, I know that not everybody sees my post. And 2, I don't care because the people who are in my Facebook feed, they don't pay my bills. So they can either scroll on past it, or I'm going to catch somebody's eye one day who just needs this business and who is just ready to put pride aside and curiosity aside and say, okay, I got to reach out to Jen. So, no, I post 4 to 6 times a day, and they're all, we say the 5 F's, like friends, fun, food, faith, freedom. So I make sure I post about one of those things. And if it doesn't, bring joy, or if it doesn't uplift others,
Yeah.
then really consider not posting it, because that's not going to add value to your business or to your character. So yeah, I post 4 to 6 times a day, and they're not all It Works posts.
I love it. And something you said is so true. I mean, I see more like hate on Facebook lately than I even do It Works posts, like all this politics and whatever. But it's like I don't unfriend people. I just scroll to the next post, and it's like people can do that with ours. I don't post a million belly pictures anymore, but I always post about products. And if people don't like that, they can scroll through, because like you said, they don't pay our bills. So I don't really care what they think. And I think Pam's the one that always says, just get over yourself.
Yeah,
That's how
I love that. Yeah, and because you never know. You could make a post one day and the right person see it, and that person could become your best loyal customer or your next ambassador. So, you just got to keep doing it.
I was one of those. I actually unfollowed Krista. We were still friends, but I became a customer, turned off my auto, and then unfollowed her. And then I followed her back when I wanted to make some money. It's like I remembered, she was posting about making money.
Right. That's how I reached back out to Tiff. I'm like, how can I make money from home? And, I remembered, okay, I'm going to reach out to Tiff because she keeps posting about this business that has changed her life. It's not like she got started and then she made a few posts and then quit.
Yeah.
She was consistent with her business.
Which I think is so key, is consistency. Some people join and after 3 weeks, they're like, this isn't for me. And I'm like, you are just scratching the tip. Like, you got to stick with it. 3 weeks is nothing.
No.
And the last question someone asked was, do you have a strategy on maintaining, or are you constantly adding new people to your business?
Yeah, so I try and make 10 new contacts every day, whether they're on social media or whether I have to physically get out and blitz, because let's face it, moms are usually busy. I'm one of those busy moms. So I'm out running errands, the grocery, the post office, the bank. So I don't always have my phone on me. I'm not always plugged into social media, but I can be out doing my errands with a smile on my face and start, making a connection with someone. And it doesn't always have to be when I'm out, I throw a catalog in somebody's face and say, here, check out my products. But it's literally like, hey, I love that shirt. And you start to build a relationship with that person. And then you could say something like, hey, I'd love to find you on Facebook. You
Yeah.
don't even have to mention the business, but just friend them on Facebook, and then they start to see your drip post, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know she sold those wraps. And
Yeah.
so I'm always trying to add 10 new people to Facebook every day, whether, like I said, it's a suggested friend on Facebook. And if it is, I will go and I will look to see if there's any mutual friends that I have who might be a distributor, because if that's the case, I don't want to step on any toes there. I'll just scroll on past. And but if I have I've had a few suggested friends pop up in my Facebook, and I'll go and I'll look at them, and I have no mutual friends, I'll friend them, and then I don't go and I start spamming them, but I let them watch my posts for a while. And that's in fact how I signed one of my distributors in January.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a suggested friend, and then I did a free product giveaway. It was like, I think before the shake was announced, I think I did a product giveaway. I'm like, take a guess what you think the new product will be, and then you'll get a free product from me.
Yeah.
And this girl happened to comment, and she won my contest.
Wow.
And when I went to give her product, she signed as a distributor.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
So
love
that
that you said you let people, you drip this business. I think that is so important that people understand you don't have to spam people. Dripping is just, if not more effective. So I feel like it's more organic, you know. I love dripping. I feel like that is such like a great way to not scare people into this business.
Right.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much, Jen. I've enjoyed this Zoom tonight, and I'll get you the link when we're done.
Sounds good.
I can't wait to see you in Florida, and I know my team is going to just love this. They were so excited, and they all sent me messages. A lot of them were repeated questions, so that's why I kind of picked the ones I picked. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll see you next week.
See ya.